All right, y'all, let's just get the elephant out of the room. Taft, they sell some expensive shoes. But even though I got this at a much cheaper price than what you would find on their website, now that I'm an official owner of a Taft boot, I can see why. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fit Man Style channel. My name is Ian. So in today's video, we are going to review the Jack boot from Taft. Taft is a brand that I've been following for a while now. The first time I came across Taft was, I believe it was like a tie or a pocket square that they had in a Sprezza box that I got years ago. They don't sell those anymore. They've since evolved into a strictly shoe brand. They sell sneakers, dress shoes, and of course boots. And they all have a unique design to them. Usually you hear Taft in the same breath as Thursday Boot. Now, I haven't owned both brands now. I own Thursday Boots and now I own Taft. I just think it's an unfair comparison. They're just two different brands that offer two different type of shoes. I mean, even though they both sell sneakers, they both sell dress shoes, they both sell boots, it's just different. It's just different. But before we move any further with the Jack boot, I want to give you guys a much closer look of this boot. So enjoy this B-roll. Now, I made a promise to myself that when I eventually get something from Taft, it's going to be one of their more recognizable boots, which is this, their Jack boot. I'm going to be honest with you. Taft is the first shoe brand that I saw do something like this, where it's part leather, part fabric. I have since seen other brands try to do something like this using different types of fabrics, but I would definitely consider Taft a pioneer in this field of doing this style of boot. Now, this is the Jack boot in gray and oxblood, and that's another reason why I got this particular boot is because I don't have anything in oxblood, so it's definitely new to my collection. The upper of the boot just catches your attention. The toe cap and the counter of the boot, which is where your heel sits, are made from vegetable tan crust leather. And I would say about 80% of the rest of the upper is made from wool. Now I was curious, why wool? Well, this is the type of boot that you will wear in colder environments. So right now in Massachusetts, it's still kind of cold. So I would wear a boot like this. Well, if you think about it, wool protects my foot from the cold environment and keeps it insulated and warm. And another reason for the wool is it's very durable as well. There's a reason why a lot of brands, a lot of manufacturers use wool for their top coats, their outer jackets, their sport coats, because wool can take a beating and still be okay. Now, I've seen another brand that makes a similar style of shoe like this, but instead of the wool, it's cashmere. Cashmere is more of a more delicate fabric than wool. So like I said, the wool can take a beating, from the environment and still be okay than the cashmere would. Now, another reason why I like the wool is that you guys know with leather, there is a break-in period. Whether it's a leather jacket or a leather shoe, it takes a while for the leather to break in and form around your body in the sense of a jacket, or form around your foot in the sense of a boot or a shoe. Well, with the wool fabric, there is no break-in period for that. It will just easily form around the shape of your foot. I have a higher instep, so that will definitely be beneficial. But also, even though I have a standard foot size, I do feel like my foot gets wide at times. But this will easily form around that and make it comfortable. The inner lining is made from calf skin, and then the sole is a combat sole. Got some nice grips there. It is a Blake stitch, so another benefit to that is that there is no long periods for you to break in the shoe. And the width of the shoe, from what I've seen on their website, is your standard D width. Let's talk about the fit of the boot, but first let's talk about the type of socks to wear with the boot. If you regularly wear, I guess you can call it your regular type of socks, I would suggest that you go up a size. They don't do half sizes on their website, at least from what I've seen anyway. You got to go up a full size. So if you are a size 11, go for a size 12. And the reason for that is, if you decide to get the boot true to size like I did, which I am a size 11, you're going to have to wear thinner socks with the boot so that your foot feels comfortable in it. I did try to wear it with a regular type of sock and it felt a little bit snug. So just keep that in mind when you're buying the shoe, whichever type of socks you wear a lot. For me, I tend to have both, so it doesn't really bother me to wear dress socks with this boot, but just keep that in mind before you buy a boot. But talking about the fit of the boot, it's your standard D width, and just initial thought, as soon as you put your foot in, it feels comfortable. It is a Blake stitch, so there isn't any break-in period, as opposed to my most recent boot that I got from Thursday Boot, which is a Goodyear welt, and that took a while to break in, and you could actually feel the tightness as I put on that boot. But I don't feel any tightness with this. It feels good around my foot. I feel a little bit of snugness on my midfoot, but my midfoot tends to be a little bit high, and I can loosen up the laces to accommodate that. The insoles, I don't feel much of a cushion with the insoles, but again, with that, you can insert your own. But all in all, it feels comfortable. It feels comfortable standing, walking. The only thing I would say to you guys to keep in mind is the socks. So just be mindful of the size that you get depending on the type of socks that you normally wear. Now, how can you style a boot like this? Well, this is it's a casual style of boot. I wouldn't wear this with some slacks, and I definitely wouldn't wear it with a suit. Some chinos would go well with it, but I think jeans would work the best with a boot like this. And the style can range from casual style all the way up to business casual. So jeans, chinos, with a simple t-shirt, all the way up to a shirt and tie with a blazer or a sport coat. So the price of the Jack boot on the website is $275, which seems to be standard across the board for the majority of their boots. There's a couple of other boots that are a little bit more, but I didn't pay that price. So they are very fanatical about how the boots are being made. If there's any defect in the making of the boot, they don't put it on their website, unless it's that once a year sale that they sell the shoes that didn't make the cut, the shoes that had a little bit of a defect on it, and that's when I bought this. So I bought it at a discounted price, and I'm taking a look at it. I don't really see any defects. Maybe it's not too obvious to me. To me, it's just as good as the 275 ones on the website. But speaking of 275, it is handmade, it's hand cut, hand painted. They use the best leathers from Europe, and when you take into consideration that this is a also a Blake stitch, you can re-sole the sole and it can last you a long time. When you take into consideration the cost per wear, the manufacturing, you can see how they came across the 275 price tag. Is it worth it? I think it will be disingenuous of me to come on here and say it absolutely is, because I've only had it for a couple weeks, but I love the boot. I love it. It fits me well. I've gotten a couple compliments from it. It's just different. It's unique. But I think I need to wear this a while. I need to wear this for the rest of the spring and into the fall, and maybe later on, not maybe, definitely later on this year, I will come back and do a recap review of the Jack boot and let you guys know if it's worth it or not. If you want to buy it outright on the website, you can do that. You can either pay the 275, or I see a lot of brands these days, they have this payment installment plan where you can split that payment into 4 different payments and pay it off over a series of weeks. So that's another option for you guys. But if you want to wait till I do the recap review to let you guys know if it's worth it or not, then I'll say wait a bit. But as of right now, yeah, I love the boot. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments if you own some Taft boots or shoes. What was your experience with them? If you do own Thursday boots, would you compare the two? I wouldn't, but I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will catch you guys in the next video. But until then, stay fly, stay fit.